Do you fulfill all the wishes of a terminally ill patient? You spoke about that boy. Do you do that for everybody?
The basis of our care, Mr. Balram, has been a human touch to any person we look after. I'll give you one or two instances of that. Besides the food that we cook for the patient on a daily basis, we cook for everybody, including our staff and for the patients who are with us. That's the standard menu, I would say, for everybody. But at about 8:30 in the morning, one of our girls from our kitchen goes to each and every patient with a book in her hand, and she asks each patient, ಏನು ತಿನ್ಬೇಕಂತಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಇವತ್ತು, ಏನು ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ನಿಮಗೆ. Most of these patients are in a very advanced stage of cancer. They are suffering. They can't eat very much. But there are some patients who say, ತುಂಬ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಬಿರಿಯಾನಿ ತಿನ್ನೋಣ ಅಂತ. They can't really eat it, but the interest is such that they feel like eating it. There have been many instances where we wouldn't have cooked biryani that day, but we sent for biryani from outside and we try and fulfill. They might eat 2 spoonsful of the biryani, but at least they have had the satisfaction of eating it. Now you might ask, why do we do this? There is a very good reason for it. Another instance of a similar patient I will give you. In the beginning, when we started this institution, Mr. Balram, we knew that there was going to be a lot of tragedy there. We knew also that many people are in a situation where, when there is a death in the family, we have seen many places where the relatives and friends drink a lot of alcohol, and they are in that state, and many of them are so drunk that they don't know what they will do. I had made a rule right in the beginning, before we opened the doors of Karunashaya, that alcohol will not be admitted into our gates under any circumstances, particularly with anticipated cases like this. And that rule was being followed. It was being followed very carefully, and the nurses had strict instructions of no alcohol. And if you found anybody who comes into the premises having had a drink, gently we would ask the security to remove him. So that was our state of affairs. One morning when I came to work, the head nurse came to me and said, "Sir, with your lunch today, would you like to have a glass of beer?" I was absolutely flabbergasted. I didn't know what she was saying, and I was almost on the point of getting angry. I had thought that she had flouted a rule, that she had broken a rule, and I asked her for an explanation. She said, "Day before yesterday, we had a patient who told us, Amma, for the last 40 years of my life, every day I have been having 1 glass of beer at night, and that has become a habit with me. I know I am going to go away soon, but that one thing would give me a lot of satisfaction." This lady, without even waiting to ask me, she sent the watchman for 2 bottles of beer, and she brought those bottles of beer and she kept them in the fridge. On the first day, she gave him 1 bottle of beer. Mr. Balram, that patient passed away the next morning. 1 bottle of beer was still lying in the fridge, and she said, "That's the bottle of beer I have offered you." I said, "Give it away to somebody who can take it out." Now, the moral of these 2 instances I have told you is that we give the patient whatever we think they have asked for, whatever we know they have asked for. And why do we do this? We know full well that that particular meal might be his last meal. So there is no point in my saying, "Biryani bekitta naale kodtini" anta. There might not be a tomorrow for them. So we do give a patient whatever he wants, whatever he asks for.
Mr. Rao, I believe you take care of the lost rights of the abandoned patients.
Well, there are people who think that, Mr. Balram, but there is a slight twist to that. What people have begun to think is, what happens to those destitute patients who come to us? Many destitute patients are brought to us where genuinely they don't have anybody to look after them. Many of them are picked up from the roads where the police find a person lying on the road, they pick them up and they promptly take them to either Victoria Hospital or Bowring Hospital. Many times the Victoria Hospital says, this is a cancer case, please take them to Kidwai. They're taken to Kidwai and Kidwai says, it's gone too far, he's about to pass away, so we can't look after them, take them to Karunashraya. The police bring them to us and they tell us to look after them until the end of life. We do that and we give the same sort of care to a destitute patient like that, who, like any other patient that's brought in by the family. What happens when the destitute patient passes away, because who is to come to take the body away? I must say the Bangalore police have been extremely helpful to us. Any patient whom they bring to us, they ask us to give a letter saying that you have brought so and so patient to us, and when the patient passes away, we are supposed to ring up the police, and the police within 2 or 3 hours come with a hearse and take the body away. That is the way we operate with a destitute patients. We ourselves are not really equipped to do the last rites, in the sense either a cremation or a burial. We have no facilities to do that. But the police have cooperated with us.
Mr. Rao, what about those who have been abandoned by their families?
It's an uphill task, Mr. Balram. We have many such cases, and I'm glad you asked me this question. There are some patients who are brought to us by an apparently close family. They leave the patient and go away. They give some telephone number and say that we'll come back. This is our telephone number. Many times there have been cases where we have started, as the patient's disease progresses, we have been calling the people to come and they don't come. We have sent our auto rickshaw to such people and we go to their homes and threaten them with police action if they don't come. We put such family members into our auto and bring them to us, and we insist that they must then be with us until the patient passes away. It's an uphill task. It takes away a lot of our energy to do that. But once that is done, then what happens is that at least somebody is there to look after. A really destitute patient, there is nothing that we can do. But we do find such people where the family attempts at least to abandon the patient or to dump him on us and go away.